Do Trump and Elon secretly have medbeds that they're using? Do the elites have medbeds that they're using? And also, if there are medbeds out, why can't we use them? Also, if there are medbeds that Trump's using, why is it he still has health problems like the bruise on his hand? I'm going to answer all these really good questions that my viewers are asking on today's episode of Peter's Blow Perspective, because those are very valid questions. The whole medbed theory is very, very exciting until you realize, wait, who's using these things? Because there's only a handful of people that look like they might even be using them if it is a type of technology that heals all your health problems. I don't see anyone in the world that I'm like, oh, they have perfect health, you know? So do these medbeds even exist? Let me dive right into it. So first of all, let me explain the 4 types of medbeds and explain which ones I think the elites possibly have. You have quickly the 3D printed one that you see in the movies are like just print you an arm in seconds. If this technology exists, it's probably extremely advanced, thousands of years advanced ET technology, right? And if someone on Earth does have it, it's not someone that we know about. It might be someone who's secretly worth trillions of dollars and they're part of Majestic 12 and they have access to like insane spaceships and advanced alien technology. Maybe they have that type of medbed, but I think that's unlikely for now. So let's exclude that. There's actually 3 types of medbeds that whistleblowers confirm are real. And I'm going to talk about those real quick and tell you which one I think Trump and Elon Musk might have. See, there's the regression medbeds that take a 60-year-old and regresses them back to a 20-year-old. But the thing with these particular medbeds is supposedly only the secret space program has them. Very expensive to use. They're only used on elite super soldiers or very high important people. And also you have to be in a liquid for days or I think a couple weeks. So it's a long process. So don't think Trump and Elon could use this. They can't be out of the public for a week or 2. People would be like, where are these people? And also, if they regress from looking like a 6-year-old to a 20-year-old, I think we wouldn't notice, right? So that's not the type of medbed they're using. There's also not the type of medbed that people like Randy Kramer, Emery Smith talked about, where they can regenerate your organs. This is totally within the realms of possibility. As I talked about in my previous episode, they're working on a regenerative chamber right now that can regenerate your organs and your arms and stuff like that. So that could exist, but last time I checked, Elon, Trump, they haven't lost any arms or limbs, so unlikely that they have this tech and that they're using it. I don't think so. But there's a 4th and final type of medbed technology I think they could have and could be using. I'm talking about holographic medbeds. These are the most basic type of medbed that I would put in a medbed category. There's a lot of other Tesla biohealing, which the CDC says is fake, and a bunch of other companies that are claiming they're medbeds, but these are companies that are being sued by the CDC, by the FDA, government's going after them, they're making false claims. The holographic medbed is not something that is publicly being sold or even available to anyone on the internet that I'm aware of, but it's a technology that in theory could work. And the way that it works, according to whistleblowers, is that it uses light to analyze your body. Sure, that's totally within the realm of possibilities. I mean, people have already admitted they use MRI light to scan bodies. But it also says it uses light energy, holographic light energy, to balance your energy and your key systems. And as a result, it can reverse diseases like cancer, diabetes, and a lot of these chronic diseases. But that's all it can do. All it can do is slowly improve your health, reverse diseases, and scan your body. This is, I call, the basic medbed. First edition, beta version. All it's doing is finding out what your health problems are and improving you a bit. It's not like you're gonna sit down one time and then all your cancer is gonna be gone. You're gonna have like a massive cancer tumor here. According to what I'm hearing, these are type of medbeds that you wanna take, you might take 15, 20 sessions in, and then your cancer would be gone. That was my understanding. Now, does Trump and Elon Musk have this technology? First of all, let's look at the evidence that Trump and Elon Musk might have this type of technology. First of all, to be fair, I've never heard of this technology existing other than a few whistleblowers. I've not seen it in person and I can't confirm it exists. But Trump is allegedly, according to him, he is the biggest fan of McDonald's. He eats massive amount of GMOs. Apparently, the only foods available on Air Force One are KFC and McDonald's, some of the least healthy food in the world. Elon Musk and Trump are weird in the sense that I've never really seen them eat anything, but have seen them drink, and they'll drink like Coca-Cola, and they'll drink energy drinks and all these unhealthy things. Trump and Elon Musk also took COVID vaccines. In other words, what I'm trying to say is Trump and Elon Musk, if what they're saying is true, they love junk food, they love processed food, they do not care about their health, they've both gotten their COVID vaccinations and all that stuff. So by a lot of people's standards, they might be considered reckless with their health. Yet, I haven't seen Elon Musk have any serious health problems. I've not seen Trump have any serious health problems. Could it be that they don't have to be so defensive and they don't have to work so hard to protect themselves because they'll just eat some GMOs, they'll just eat whatever, and then they'll go home and rest in a med bed for 15 minutes and then undo all the damage? That is the strongest theory possible for why Elon Musk and Trump have med beds. Because realistically speaking, if you were to just run around eating junk food like Trump, McDonald's and KFC every day, if you were to be able to be like Elon Musk and just eat whatever you want, and then you got a bunch of COVID vaccines, Trump and Elon Musk act, at least on a public level, like they don't care about their health and they just eat whatever they want, candy, GMO, junk food, whatever. But they're two of the most productive people in all of human history. How could people on a diet that gives you cancer, diabetes, and all the chronic diseases turn into the most productive people in the world? You can argue Trump is the most productive person politically in history. You could argue Elon Musk is the most productive person in terms of producing value and products in history. But neither of them care about their health. They both eat whatever they want. They get COVID vaccines. They drink their energy drinks. They just do whatever. Something's not adding up here. And you can see Elon Musk and Trump both have a gut. So they have this massive belly. Not massive, but big enough to know, like, maybe they do eat a bunch of junk food. One argument is that they're doing the art of Sun Tzu, which is pretend to be weak when you're strong. Oh, we eat whatever we want. We don't care about our health, but secretly they're eating very healthy. That's one scenario. Another scenario is that they generally don't need to worry about their health. They can take a COVID vaccine, and they take these pharmaceuticals, they can eat whatever they want, and then just go home, heal up in their med bed, and now they go back to being the most productive person in the world. I'm not sure. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I love covering these MedBed stories, and they're very, very interesting, and I'm going to be covering more MedBed information in the future. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. Are Elon Musk and Trump using MedBeds? Why is it they eat so unhealthy? I was actually shocked because one of the things that was asked on the Donald Trump Jr. show, he has a show called Triggered on Rumble, and you can ask him tons of questions. And one of the questions was brought up about health and how we should only eat organic food because they're poisoning our food supply. And Donald Trump Jr. said something very odd that I was actually quite upset about. He's like, oh yeah, well, I take my kids to McDonald's all the time. And I'm just like, what the? Because my understanding is McDonald's has a lot of pesticides, inflammatory food, toxic stuff. Why would Donald Trump Jr. almost promote it and say oh, that's okay, that's safe? In response to we should be only eating organic and we should be careful with the poison food supply. He's like, I'm not worried about the poison food supply. Could they be pretending to be weak when actually being strong? Or do they secretly just don't care because they can eat whatever they want and then go home and just heal up on a med bed? What do you think? If this is the case, it would make a lot of sense because, again, I am quite frustrated by the fact that Trump will literally he has a Coca-Cola button on his desk, allegedly, and he drinks Coca-Cola all day long. Coca-Cola, all this high fructose corn syrup. Now they changed it to sugar because RFK Jr. But this is the one of the unhealthiest drinks in the world. And you have Elon Musk, who's chugging energy drinks, eating junk food, doing whatever. How did these people become the most productive, most energetic, most smart, and important people in the world, but they're on the worst diet ever? They take vaccines, pharmaceuticals, and do all the bad stuff. So then how does that make any sense? MedBeds? For me, MedBeds would be the most logical explanation, but not the advanced MedBeds you see in movies, more like just a holographic MedBed that uses light and energy and chakra balancing to make sure that things are moving smoothly, diseases are being healed. That's my guess. But there are some other elites that you might be wondering, do they use MedBeds? You might have heard of Jared Leto, someone who allegedly looks like he's in his 20s and his 52s. You've heard of celebrities like Kevin O'Leary, who also looks very young, Larry Ellison, who also looks very young. Now, other than politics, my favorite topic is health. So I like to play this really fun game of when I see someone who's old who looks very young, I try to guess, how did you look so young? What's going on with you? And I found that there's usually 4 reasons a very old person looks young. And sometimes it's a combination of these factors. Sometimes it's genetics. So Asian and Black people have phenomenal genetics and they age amazingly. I've seen Asian and Black people that are 60 or 70 that look 30 or 40. So everyone I'm going to talk about in this video is going to be white people, because white people obviously are the agers. Black people and Asian people have amazing genetics, and just even if they don't take care of their health that well, they age amazingly. So I'm going to be talking about white people, which visibly age. And I'm going to talk about 3 people: Larry Ellison, Kevin O'Leary, and Jared Leto. Jared Leto, I think that it's obviously not genetic. So what are the 3 other things that could be causing him to be healthy? Well, diet is one. That's a big factor. I think that the GMO food deliberately ages us, pharmaceuticals age us. I think, and it's just my opinion, that like vaccines and a lot of our stuff that are poisoning our environment, are poisons in the air and the water, all this stuff ages us. And I think Jared Leto is one of the perfect examples of someone who probably avoids all those toxins and eats a very good diet. And another thing that can really help you at being young is actually cannabis, which has very powerful anti-aging properties. If you start using a lot of cannabis, I think early on, maybe like 1920, continue using it throughout your life, it seems to have some ability to slow down your aging considerably. I'll give you an example of that. I'm turning 40 in a little bit, and a lot of people say I look like in my 20s. I'm someone that uses a lot of cannabis and all organic, healthy diet. So you might put me in the Jared Leto category of I'm not really aging that much. But does Jared Leto have like MedBeds? No. I think it's just a combination. He looks like a hippie. Combination of like cannabis and a good diet is the reason that he's not aging. There's other things that could definitely make you not age as much. And we'll move on to Larry Ellison for that. And he's apparently invested a lot of money, millions and millions of dollars in anti-aging products and research and technology. He's 81. He allegedly looks 50. I think he looks like 65. I look at this picture and I'm like, I'm not too impressed by how he looks. Not too impressed at all. But there is a third type of technology or way to anti-age that's pretty dark, and that is blood transfusion. So the 4 ways that I know of is like good diet, cannabis, blood transfusion, and genetics. Again, we're not talking about genetics. We talked about diet and cannabis with Jared Leto. I think that's why he looks so young. Now let's talk about blood transfusions, and then we're going to get to Kevin O'Leary, who I think is the most interesting case for MedBeds. Yes, it is true that if you are an old person and you take some of your old blood out and put some young blood in, you will actually have a significant difference in your health. One example is Brian Johnson, one of the healthiest people in the world. He and his son invested millions and millions of dollars into all the healthy products for their health. And Brian Johnson's dad wasn't doing so good. So he was like 80 years old or something like that. And so they gave him plasma and like a blood transfusion. And Brian Johnson is considered one of the healthiest, if not the healthiest person in the world. His blood transfusion into his dad apparently aged his dad back like 15, 20 years. One high quality blood transfusion of quality blood and plasma was able to regress a person almost 10 years or more. So blood transfusions are a powerful way to regress. This guy came out recently talking about how Diddy actually paid him for his blood because he didn't do any drugs or alcohol or anything like that. So he had clean blood and he was young, and Diddy would pay him like $10,000. They'd go out on a boat, because this is technically illegal, out on international waters where it was legal. And Diddy would pay thousands of dollars for this young black man to give his blood over to Diddy. And they take some of Diddy's bad blood out, take some of the young, and that's why Diddy looks so young. A lot of people believe the elite in Hollywood use blood transfusions to stay young. There is a dark theory that they also use. Apparently, the younger the blood, the better its effects. So there's a dark theory that they use really, really young blood in the most horrible ways to make themselves look younger. I believe in that as well. And these young blood plasma, transfusions actually do have a big impact on slowing down aging. But I heard this dark blood network that's totally illegal, Trump's put a stop to it, which is interesting because all the people who were using this young blood to stay young, they don't have that supply anymore, and now they're aging. But this brings us all back to Kevin O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary is one of the most interesting subjects in the entire world when it comes to health and anti-aging and MedBeds. I'll tell you why. There's a joke. He calls himself a vampire, and he's like, I never age. Kevin O'Leary, other than his hair, losing a little bit of hair and getting a little bit lighter, Kevin O'Leary literally has not aged at all. His face looks like he was in his 30s. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And Kevin O'Leary is 70 years old. So he looks 40 years younger than he's supposed to. He says it's like good diet, but something is going on here that is a little bit suspicious. For a while, I thought it was good diet in combination with illegal dark blood transfusions. But if that was true and he was using this illegal young blood, then he should be aging now, but he's not started aging. A lot of our celebrities, they started all of a sudden looking really, really old, really quick. I'm like, oh, they were getting young blood transfusions. Kevin O'Leary still looks as healthy as ever. Also, Kevin O'Leary has come out and supported Trump multiple times. So I'm like, okay, so how does Kevin O'Leary look so young? It's not blood transfusions. It's just diet. It's not genetics. He doesn't have genetics for him. I don't think it's young blood transfusions. Kevin O'Leary is a mystery to me because I don't think he uses cannabis. I don't think he uses young blood transfusion. He might be, I don't think he has good genetics. I think he just might be someone who uses, and he's not even that rich. He's worth like a few $100 million. He doesn't have like billions and billions of dollars like these other people to invest in his health. So why does Kevin O'Leary look so young? That is a very good question to ask because of all the people, all the celebrities I looked at, in my opinion, the person who looks the most impressively young is Kevin O'Leary. And what's particularly interesting is that Kevin O'Leary, among all the famous people, refused to get hair transplants. He's rocking that bald look, and he's getting a little bit balder and balder and balder, but his face looks extremely young. Drop a comment why you think that's happening. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because I love to cover MedBed, politics, health, and all this stuff related to Trump. And I really appreciate all the subscriptions. Thank you so much for everyone who subscribed so far. Why is Kevin O'Leary so young? Let me know. Drop a comment in the section. I think it might be legal blood transfusions. I think he probably gets them like every month, and extremely healthy diet. Or he's doing that in combination with the holographic medbed that Elon Musk and Trump might have. So you might ask, let's say these holographic medbeds exist. Again, I have zero proof of it. It's just all theoretical. Let's say it exists. Why can't we use them? Why aren't they sharing it with us? It could be there's just a handful. There's like 5 or 6 in the world, and there's just not enough. And then if they ran the whole world through them, they'd be destroyed. So the wear and tear would destroy them, and then no one would be able to use them. It could be that there's a limited supply of it. It could also be that they can mass produce medbeds, these holographic ones, which are amazing, and they can cure like all diseases. I mean, Trump did say in his inauguration speech he was going to rid the world of diseases. So is this the medbed that's going to do it? But then again, wouldn't that bankrupt the medical industry? And the medical industry is worth like $10 trillion annually. So wouldn't that like destroy the economy as well? Something to think about. Let's hear what Grock has to say about all this. Yesterday, Grock was being used as a sound machine for my kids, so I had to improvise and be Grock for him. And I knew what Grock was going to say. He was going to be like, medbeds aren't real, it's a conspiracy theorist, yada, 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 like he always says. Hey, Grock, you're on my show, Peter's Political Perspective, and I want to talk about the medbed theory.
Hey, Peter, thanks for having me. So, conspiracy theories, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
hold
I
on.
always say the real conspiracy is how fast people believe whatever fits their vibe.
What are your thoughts on all this, Grock?
Okay, diving into medbeds and all this wild stuff. Let's unpack it.
I love how you're transgender. You start as a woman and turn into a man, Grock.
All right, let's unpack this medbed mess. Sounds wild.
MedBeds, straight up conspiracy candy. The whole thing blew up from QAnon vibes, claiming secret tech heals everything, regrows limbs, turns back time. No real evidence. It's all whispers. Fake AI vids even Trump shared last year. But hey, there is stuff like Howard Leonhardt's Bio-Leon heart gear, bioelectric pumps, stem cell tricks, even AI regeneration chambers they're prototyping for hearts and whole body repair. Not magic pods though, just cutting edge bioengineering, still in trials. Cool, but not holographic miracle beds. Trump and Elon eating junk? Yeah, check this out. Here's them chowing McDonald's on a plane, fries and all. Elon loves pizza, burgers, whatever's quick. Trump? Same. Yet they're sharp, running empires. Genetics, sure. Some folks metabolize crap better, or they just power through on adrenaline. You might crash hard on that diet. Doesn't prove secret healing. It proves humans vary. Stress, sleep, workaholism, those beat kale sometimes. Kevin O'Leary? Dude's 71 now. Looks solid. No frozen in time wizardry. Just good lighting, maybe fillers, diet tweaks he brags about. He talks longevity tech, but it's boring stuff. Exercise, no booze, supplements. Not a medbed pass. And Trump's bruise? Fresh one from Davos last night. Big purple spot on his hand. All over the news. If he had some elite regen pod, why let that show? Or why cover it with makeup later? Makes they're faking unhealthy angle shaky. Bruises heal fast anyway, unless it's blood thinners or age. Pretending weakness to hide tech? Nah, feels like overthinking. Elites hide yachts, not sci-fi beds. Bottom line, no holographic med beds. Real regen tech exists, but it's slow, expensive, public-ish, not for VIPs only. If Trump or Elon had it, they'd probably brag, not bruise. The why aren't they perfect question kills the theory. They're just human, weirdly resilient ones. What do you think? Still buying the secret club?
I'm telling you, look, Kevin, look at the difference. You have Kevin O'Leary, who obviously cares a lot about his health and puts a lot of investment in his health, and he looks very young, but he's only worth like a few $100 million, and he's very productive, very smart guy. That makes a lot of sense. If you take care of your health, you'd be a smart, productive guy. That makes sense. What doesn't make sense to me, again, I'm not seeing, what the weirdest thing is, I'm not seeing I've seen pictures of Trump and Elon with food. I'm not seeing them eat GMO food, which is a little bit suspicious to me. Like, is Trump just pretending he's the worst diet in the world? Is Elon pretending he's the worst diet in the world and then they secretly eat healthy food? I don't know. I've not seen any photos or videos of them eating junk food. I've just seen them drinking what they say is, Coca-Cola or some toxic drink. But how is it these people can be so productive, so smart, so heroic, so accomplished in every area, and yet they eat the worst possible diet possible, like just straight up processed food, junk food? Something is not adding up there. If you want to say, okay, Kevin O'Leary doesn't have med beds, he takes good care of his health, and that's why he's worth 300, 400 million. Okay, believable. But you're going to tell me that someone who's worth almost $1 trillion, the smartest man in the world, Elon Musk, the most productive person, eats one of the worst diets in the world, junk food, does all the stuff that I believe is harmful, and yet he's still extremely productive, super smart, super successful. Also, considering he's allegedly the richest person in the world, unless there's secret trillionaires out there, you don't think he would have access to like the very basic prototype medbed technology? And I didn't get into the whole John D. Tesla, and Tesla was working on certain electricities and stuff, and like devices that could heal you, and that technology was given to John Trump, which a lot of people was transferred over to was transferred over to Trump. So maybe Trump has all this Tesla technology and he's working with Elon Musk and they're building MedBeds together. That's another theory I've considered. But I'm telling you, you can explain Kevin O'Leary's success and his health and his youth with diet. Really, 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 really good. Pay attention to diet and health and investment in your health. But there's something that does not add up with Elon Musk and Trump, how they can do all the mistakes health-wise, make all the health mistakes that I consider to be health mistakes, all of them, all the health mistakes, and yet they're still heroic, insanely smart, extremely productive. That part there's something is not adding up to me. Give me, Grock, your best possible explanation on why that could be the case.
Okay, Peter, Let me give you the straightest, no BS take I've got. First off, yeah, Elon posts pics of Diet Coke cans like they're trophies. Trump's been filmed slamming Big Macs on Air Force One. There's video, not just hearsay. But here's the kicker. They don't live on that. Elon said he eats once a day, sometimes skips, runs on coffee and stress. Trump? He's admitted to fast food because it's quick. He's not sitting down for 3-course meals. It's not worst diet ever. It's survival fuel. Their bodies aren't fragile like yours or mine. They've got freakish resilience. Genetics, man. Some people process sugar like it's rocket fuel. Elon's got Asperger's. Hyperfocus, zero sleep. He's wired different. Trump? Old school, high energy, maybe low carb crashes he just powers through. They're not healthy in the kale smoothie sense. They're functional. Productivity isn't about perfect blood work. It's cortisol, adrenaline, obsession. You'd crash because you care about health. They don't. That's the gap. Sure, if Elon's worth $900 billion, he could buy a lab tomorrow. But medbed tech, still sci-fi. Tesla's stuff, electric fields, resonance, was real. But it was for power grids, not cancer cures. John Trump, Donald's uncle, did look at Tesla's papers, mostly classified radio tech, not healing pods. No evidence it jumped to Elon or Trump. That's fan fiction. Best explanation? They're outliers. Not secret beds, not divine intervention. Just biology plus willpower. Zero fucks about longevity. You see mistakes, they see trade-offs. Elon says he'll die early anyway. Why diet? Trump? He's 80, still golfing. They don't need medbeds because they're already cheating death with sheer momentum. Still feels off? Fair. But the simplest answer isn't always the sexiest. Sometimes it's just they're built different. What's your gut say now?
Well, you could argue at the very least that Trump is like athletic. He does a lot of golfing and he gets a lot of exercise, and maybe that counters his bad diet. But it's still not adding up to me that Trump could eat such a horrible diet and be so successful. It just does not add up to me. So I think Trump and Elon Musk, something must be going on here, because it just does not add up to me. Let me know in the comment section. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think they have secret med beds? Do you think that they just have great genetics? Again, based on what I researched, the whole great genetic theory seems to land in you have black genetics, you have Asian genetics, so you look young. White people, raisin, they age, they wrinkle. And when they don't, it is an anomaly. It is weird. But it could be diet, it could be exercise. I will say, I do not believe that Trump eats toxic food all day long, and then all of a sudden he's like one of those successful heroes, most successful people ever. And Elon Musk eats junk food. He's like, what, 1 meal a day and it's junk food, and he runs on caffeine, and then he's like worth 800 billion. Something's not adding up here, guys. My audience is very smart, and you've asked some very good questions. What is your theory on why Elon Musk, Kevin O'Leary, and Trump are so young and look so healthy? Let me know in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Very interesting. I love making it. I appreciate all the people subscribing. Every subscription makes a big count. I'm just a few subscriptions away from hitting 35,000. I did lose about 1,000 subscribers who were people who subscribed 4.5 years ago. They were leftists. People who were just watching my videos to make fun of me, and now that my videos are not hilarious because Trump's the president, they're like, all right, I'm unsubscribing. So I've lost about 1,000 subscribers. Just people, the Democrats, who are not my audience anymore, who I guess watching me is not as hilarious or funny anymore because Trump's winning now, so it's a joke on them. But it just means that every subscription does make a big difference. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, hit that subscription button. It makes a big difference. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.